receiving a lot of questions about Heartland. Mr. Reed, this one is for you. When did Jefferson County first find out about the elevator development east of town? And when should the public be informed about these kinds of developments?
The first time the Board of Supervisors, first of all, Board of Supervisors do not get to talk unless they're in a public meeting. That's called the Open Meetings Law. That means two supervisors together is not supposed to have a communication. So the first time legally we found out about it was when Heartland came to the board meeting, and I can't tell you what that date is. The CEO and the next guy, they came and sat at our board meeting and told us their intentions. It hit the newspaper then. That's the first time we knew about it officially. We heard people that were going to the coffee shop were hearing a lot more about it than what we were, because there was some economic development talk that was going on. And in economic developments, the Board of Supervisors don't get to sit on those meetings. There might be one supervisor that sits on those meetings as a liaison, but he can't tell the supervisors what's going on until it's put on the agenda. So that was the first. We heard about it. We told the public, and there has been some misinformation that we knew something before we could tell the public. I think probably Mr. Leahy probably knew more about it than I did. But that we have to work under the Open Meetings Law. That's a law that's mandated by Iowa, and we honor and respect that. We put it on the agenda, and then we discuss it. And I think that's probably appropriate. It's a little hard to do business sometimes that way, but that's the way we do it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Finn, your response.
I think it's very important to understand is that the issue that we really have here is that people think that things were done in private. And if you look at some of the things that are going around the state, this is not just an issue here, if this truly is an issue. I don't know what it is, whether it is not an issue. I don't know whether a lot of backroom deals have been made. I do know what the papers say. I do know that there is a lot of corporate interference that will say with communities. Again, we're going back to local control. If there are some kind of ordinances or rules or laws about how we are to conduct our business, then I think they need to be changed, because I think the people need to really know what's going on so they can be informed. Because I was told that you probably found out about it only 4 months before actually something happened.
Okay. All right, so I'll have to stop there.
Okay.
Mr. Finn, this question is for you. Will you promise to cut property taxes if elected supervisor? And if not, why not?
Property taxes, yes. I do believe that property taxes ought to be cut. The first time that I ever heard what was going on about property taxes, I met a guy in Hy-Vee. He's got a small house. He said his assessment went up $19,000 this year. The taxes went up almost $600. He can't understand it. You know, in the day and age in which we live, people are hurting. There's not a lot of money out there being generated. Things are down. Why not back up with a tax cut and help the people out in the county? As I look at the ordinances, I understand that the county supervisors have a role in playing in tax assessments.
All right, Mr. Reed, what are your thoughts on property taxes? Will you promise to cut them?
Well, sure I want to cut them. I don't like paying high property taxes myself. I live in the city limits of Fairfield, and I think my property taxes are plenty high. Out in the county, which the Board of Supervisors control, they're fairly reasonable. We tried to take and run find out if he becomes the Board of Supervisor. We start working on him in January, and we go over every single line. And so we look at the budget, we look at our income, we look at our outgo, and we try to take and run it as best we can. And we're always trying to take and cut. There's not very much fat there on the county side, but we try to cut. And you can see, if you go back and look, we do cut